Show. Turn up your mind.
Breaking Fox News alert. The FBI has raided former President Trump's home in Mar-A-Lago. Feds were executing a search warrant. President Trump issued a statement on the raid saying this: "These are dark times for our nation, as my beautiful home, Mar-A-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided."
Well, I hope they didn't do any damage to those fake Time, covers. Those faked, Time magazine covers of Donald Trump being like Man of the Year. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, first, let me just say this. It wasn't a raid. It's a search. It was the execution of a search warrant, a duly received search warrant based on evidence presented to a federal magistrate, a federal judge, that could show either through witness testimony, affidavits, previously given testimony, that a crime had been committed by Donald Trump and that the evidence was at Mar-A-Lago. And it may also have been the result of a belief that was able to be told to a judge and a judge be convinced of this, that the crime was ongoing. I have no idea what the crime is. I have no idea what was in the safe. I don't know. This is just so bizarre. I find myself agreeing with Mike Pence today. Oh God, help me! Help me! Help! Help!
I find it funny that he said there specifically the FBI, Mar-a-Lago's under siege. The FBI is that just tourists. It's no siege.
Donald Trump,
tourists.
He's not used to having visitors at Mar-a-Lago that don't kiss his ass. And he's definitely not interested in visitors who are there to burn his ass, which is what they're there to do. Find evidence of criminal behavior, which apparently exists because a judge, this is a very high bar. You're talking about, believe it or not, an ex-president of the United States. Yes, it's Donald Trump we're talking about, but he is an ex-president of the United States. Like it, don't like it, doesn't matter. That's who he is. That's what he is. And to convince a federal judge to allow for a search to occur at Mar-a-Lago, first of all, let me just say this. We learned last week that the Trump attorneys were cooperating, or at least talking to, let's just say it that way, the January 6th committee. They were negotiating some damn thing. We don't know what, but the Trump attorneys, the criminal attorneys for Donald Trump, were in contact with and engaged with the January 6th Select Committee that is investigating the insurrection, that is investigating a seditious conspiracy to overturn the results of a free and fair election, right? To stop a congressional proceeding. Now, we've gone over the fact that that particular crime has a 20-year jail sentence tied to it. Okay, so the attorneys were talking to the January 6th committee. We know that when Donald Trump left the White House, he did take things. He took stuff. He took things. They're his things. And, we know that later on, the National Archives had contacted Donald Trump and said, you took stuff and things. You took things out of the White House that are that belong to the National Archives, that belong to the American people. Okay, you took all kinds of things, and when can we expect that you will? Because you took them mistakenly, we're sure. We're 100% sure. I mean, you were, after all, the president of the United States. You certainly know that the Presidential Records Act, means something to you as a president. And so Trump said, well, let me go through whatever he said, and did return. He did return 15 boxes of crap that he took. And when the National Archives was going through those materials, they actually discovered that he had taken classified information. Some information, we were told by the Washington Post, who had some insight into what was in those boxes, were so classified, they were marked top secret, they were so specific, and not just eyes only, but so specific to a handful of people who had the proper clearance to see such documents that they couldn't even describe those documents to us without violating the classification rules. Okay, that's how secret these documents were. So doesn't that lead you to believe it was something like launch codes or, war plans or, locations of spies or God only knows. I mean, this is what's so creepy about, General Mike Flynn. And I've mentioned this many, many times. That man still has a security clearance, okay? And that's what's so scary about him and others like him. But Donald Trump apparently returned those 15 boxes, and that's when they found out that there was stuff in there that was classified. Now, store that in your mind for a brief moment while I explain to you this. While you're president of the United States, you have the power, the awesome power, to declassify any damn thing, including launch codes. You can declassify anything. So who's to say that Donald Trump didn't declassify this material that still falls under the Presidential Records Act, but the classification of it was, removed from these sensitive documents before he took them home.